Hey, my name is Tony, and we are going to work on my 2014 new to me KTM 250XC. I've had this for a few months now. If you've been following the channel, I bought it pre-owned, and we are going to change out the foot pegs with these aluminum cheap foot pegs here. I usually run the titanium foot pegs, but for the price I was going to go ahead and try these out. I'll tell you, the quality seems pretty good. For me, I just consider this a normal wear and tear item, so I usually keep a couple of these in stock. I've never ran these, but I usually keep the stock ones in stock, along with, you know, sprockets and levers. Those are just normal wear and tear things to me. As you can see here, these are the stock foot pegs. These are a lot more rounded off than I would normally run, so it's a good time to change these out. And I would not throw any of this stuff away. These are good to have on hand, a spare set, just in case you break a pair or something. You don't want your whole riding weekend messed up because of a foot peg. So it's a very simple job. I'm just going to pop out the cotter pin here, pull out the main pin. I always have a couple cotter pins on hand. I like to use brand new cotter pins. And I'll file these down one more time and probably end up using them again. So I'll grind these down to a sharp edge, you know, bend the tabs back up that are bent over. So I just pulled out the cotter pin from the bottom here. That's about all there is to that. And then we'll just push this pin right here up. It'll just come right out the top. So we pulled the pin out, and you'll just take note of how the spring is in there, and reassembly is pretty simple. So if you order these in the description, I'll put a link down in the description. If you order these, they'll come like this, packaged up. There's a couple extra of these little bolts in there, and I'll tell you, all of these pegs are glued and screwed in there. They're they're in there pretty good. I tried to tighten them down a little bit more, but it's hard to see, but they are all glued in there also. And it does come with new springs and a couple extra of those little pegs. All right, so here's my foot peg, and I'll just take my spring just like that, set it right inside there, and I usually keep a rod on hand or something to help with the process, and we'll just run this right up through here. The idea with a small rod like this is because it will slip right inside this pin. Alright, so I just pushed the peg up against the bike here and ran my rod through there to hold it and help maneuver the spring, just like so. Then once we put our pin right here in, everything will come back together. So this pin will slide right down, so that pin will slide over the rod or whatever you use. Then it's just working it all the way down through the foot peg and spring. Just kind of pushing down and working it as it goes. Very easy job. Some other bikes are easier, but it's not a hard job whatsoever. So I just pushed the pin all the way through. It went together very easily. If you might just have to tap it a little bit to get it through the pressure of the spring. You know, as long as everything's lined up good, it'll just go right through very simply. The spring has a lot of tension on here, so this is good. The new spring has more tension than the old spring that I took off, so I was concerned about having to use the old spring, but this is in there. It's very firm, and the size here is very similar to the original size. You can see that. It's hard to tell on camera here, but just slightly larger, but it doesn't stick out really too much farther. If you can see that. Like I said, it's hard on camera here, but it was very close to the stock size, so that's another reason I wanted these. And the quality just seemed pretty good for cheap aluminum. So it's a simple job. And then just run your cotter pin back through. Hopefully that helped someone that wasn't sure on how to swap out their foot pegs. Quick, easy job. Thanks for watching, and watch out for future videos. We got a lot of dirt bike parts that we have to get on here for the season. While I'm doing these foot pegs, I'm just going to swap out this little brake tab right here also. It's kind of wore out and bent up a little bit. So on this T30 is what that is, or a socket I suppose you could use. Just going to pop these off. That'll come off there. You can just tell it's beat up and wore out a little bit. Now this new part I got, just a cheap aluminum tab here. I'm going to use these first two holes right here because it lined up the best on my bike here with the old brake tab there. It has these Allen key, or these Allen bolts. I'm going to use plenty of Loctite. Alright, so I'm not a fan of the colors, you know, and whatnot. They might have other colors of these. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description, but I'm more function over looks. So I'm just going to snug these down. Like I said, I used plenty of Loctite, and that'll just be a little bit more grip, and it's straight, not all bent up. So that's about it on that. I'll snug these right on down, and we are done. Again, thanks a lot for watching. Just wanted to take a quick second to show you the other side here. I just popped out the cotter pin, but the spring on this is about shot. So that right there annoys the junk out of me. So that new spring will certainly help out with that.